Is there any country in the world where the president can kick out all the foreign gold mining companies exploiting the country's gold? Well, there was not until now, as Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has made history. Certainly, he took his time before making such a revolutionary move. Creating a circle of the most powerful people on his side, Captain Ibrahim Traore suspended all foreign companies' mining licenses, including those from Russia. But what actually happened that Ibrahim Traore was left with no option but to clean the slate. It turns out that he came to know the covert things foreign companies were doing in Burkina Faso. So, how has he canceled the licenses, and what he plans to do with thousands of tons of gold that will be kept inside Burkina Faso? Let's know about everything in this video. After taking power, Captain Ibrahim Traore could not fathom that Burkina Faso, despite possessing significant gold reserves, persisted as one of the world's poorest nations. He knew that France, Burkina Faso's former colonial power, played a role in obstructing the development of an autonomous gold mining industry in the country. France imposed unfair trade agreements on Burkina Faso during both the colonial period and post-independence, ensuring that France disproportionately benefited from Burkina Faso's gold resources. Captain Ibrahim Traore was the man who, while in the military, was keeping an eye on France's every move. He saw that French companies received preferential access to mining concessions, and the pricing arrangements for Burkina Faso's gold exports were unfavorable. France did not offer sufficient support for the development of a local gold mining industry in Burkina Faso. Rather, it encouraged reliance on foreign expertise and technology, impeding the transfer of knowledge and skills to Burkinabe citizens. This hindered the country's capacity to develop its own expertise in gold mining, resulting in dependence on foreign actors. Captain Ibrahim Traore understood France's evil policy in the Sahel region, and he made it his goal to get Burkina Faso out of this trap. However, he knew that France exerted excessive political influence on Burkina Faso's government in the past, ensuring that policies favored French interests in the mining sector. This involved lobbying against policies promoting local control over gold resources and pressuring the government to grant favorable terms to French companies. Therefore, Ibrahim Traore decided he would first consolidate all his powers. He would then break Burkina Faso's systemic trap, where the CFA franc, the common currency used by several West African countries, looted Burkina Faso's gold industry. The fixed exchange rate of the CFA franc to the euro is seen as artificially high, diminishing Burkina Faso's exports' global competitiveness. This could have discouraged investment and limited potential revenue from gold exports. In other words, France could import a vast amount of Burkina Faso's gold by artificially strengthening the CFA franc and then devaluing it after the buying has been done. In this way, France had to pay less CFA franc than the original price for the gold. It became clear that France's involvement in Burkina Faso's gold mining industry primarily aimed to exploit the country's resources for its own benefit, with little regard for Burkina Faso's development. Now, as it has been over a year since Captain Ibrahim Traore took power, he decided to manifest his plans. In a bold and far-reaching move that resonated across Africa and beyond, Burkina Faso's leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, declared the expulsion of all foreign mining companies operating within the nation. This powerful action, aimed at regaining control of Burkina Faso's abundant gold resources, directly affected industry titans like Nordgold, Endeavour Mining, Simafo, Fortuna Silver Mines, B2 Gold, Hummingbird Resources, sending shockwaves through Western corporations accustomed to exploiting the continent's wealth. Traore's decision went beyond a mere show of defiance against France, with whom Burkina Faso shares a complex history. It was a strategic maneuver intended to ensure that the nation's gold wealth serves its people, rather than benefiting foreign corporations. This sentiment aligns with the frustrations of many African leaders, witnessing the exploitation of their natural resources by Western companies, resulting in poverty and desperation. However, Traore didn't stop at the expulsions. He implemented significant reforms to mining regulations, increasing royalty rates during periods of elevated gold prices. This move sought to secure a more equitable share of wealth for the Burkinabe people, especially crucial in the aftermath of mine closures due to security concerns following recent coups. Yet, the expulsion of Russian mining giant Nord Gold, once considered a strategic ally, raised questions. Rumors of favoritism towards other foreign players surfaced, but the government vehemently denied these allegations, asserting that Nord Gold's permit was granted based on merit, not political connections. Adding complexity to the situation were rumors of Burkina Faso engaging mercenaries from Russia's Wagner group. While the government denied using mining profits to pay these mercenaries, the lack of transparency fueled speculation and international scrutiny. This saga underscores the complex and often exploitative relationship between Western corporations and Africa. For decades, Western companies have profited significantly from Africa's resources, leaving many nations trapped in cycles of poverty and dependence. Traore's actions represent a growing movement among African leaders, demanding a fairer share of their own wealth, challenging the narrative that African nations are mere sources of cheap resources. Beyond economic implications, Traore's decision symbolizes a fight for sovereignty. He challenges the Western narrative that portrays African nations as sources of cheap resources, asserting their right to self-determination. His bold move may inspire other African countries to follow suit and assert control over their destinies. Traore's actions have opened a new chapter in Burkina Faso's history. The journey ahead will be challenging, but his steadfast commitment to resource nationalism and national sovereignty has sparked hope across Africa. This is more than a story about gold. It's a narrative of a nation reclaiming dignity and taking control of its future. While the final chapter remains unwritten, one thing is certain: Captain Traore has issued a challenge, confronting the West's exploitative practices and inspiring a new generation of African leaders to demand their rightful share of the continent's wealth. The world is watching, and the outcome could have profound implications for Africa and the global order. But what is Ibrahim Traore planning to do next, after kicking out the foreign gold mining companies? Well, in the heart of West Africa, Burkina Faso is writing a new narrative in the quest for resource sovereignty. Under the determined leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore, the nation is confronting the challenge head-on, reclaiming authority over its extensive gold reserves and challenging the historical dominance of foreign corporations. While companies like the UK-based Baru mine grapple with production setbacks due to security concerns, Burkina Faso remains steadfast in its pursuit of self-sufficiency. The establishment of a new gold refinery marks the onset of a bold era, where the nation aims to realize the full value of its mineral wealth and attract investors committed to ethical and sustainable development. Earlier, Burkina Faso had to allow exporting of unrefined gold. In turn, this cost Burkina Faso the potential to make more revenues. Exporting unrefined gold meant accepting lower prices and being distanced from the refining process. But now, as Burkina Faso has started the construction of its own gold refinery, its authorities will be present on site to calculate the fair share that should be given to Burkina Faso. However, people expected Captain Ibrahim Traore wouldn't expel the Russian mining company. It's because Russia is a newfound ally that Burkina Faso has to appease. Yet, Captain Ibrahim Traore wants to go with a different approach. He does not want to bind Burkina Faso's relations with Russia to allow Russian companies to mine in Burkina Faso. These are two completely different things which should be kept separate. Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. What's more, he does not want to repeat the same pattern, that is, to win new allies by allowing them to exploit Burkina Faso's gold. Now, acknowledging the contributions of companies like Nord Gold to Burkina Faso's history, the winds of change are sweeping across the continent. Fueled by a deep desire for economic independence and social justice, the pro-self-reliance movement is gaining momentum. Captain Traore leads the charge, challenging exploitative practices from the West and setting a precedent for other nations to mimic. You should know that Burkina Faso's struggle for gold sovereignty extends beyond local borders. It symbolizes a continent rising. The old order is crumbling as nations reclaim control of their resources and demand a fair share globally. Captain Traore's leadership acts as a beacon of hope for other nations to break free from foreign dependence, fostering a future where natural wealth empowers people and supports sustainable development. This narrative exceeds the story of gold. It's about a nation's journey towards self-determination, a tale of people asserting their rightful place globally. Though the battle is far from over and the road ahead may be challenging, the spirit of self-reliance and Captain Traore's tenacious resolve offer a glimmer of hope. Despite recent developments, Nord Gold has played a pivotal role in Burkina Faso's mining sector. The company has a proven track record of successfully launching mines, showcasing its ability to efficiently identify high-quality projects, carry out construction, and initiate mining operations with minimal ramp-up periods. A notable example is the Bisa mine, which represented Nord Gold's first development into African mining in January 2013. The construction of the Bisa mine was completed within the specified 15-month time frame and stayed within budget. It achieved an impressive payback period of 21 months from commissioning in September 2016. In 2016, Nord Gold expanded the Bisa mine by constructing a heap leach facility at the nearby Bouzli deposit. This decision was grounded in successful exploration programs, revealing a significant low-grade gold deposit near the Bisa operation. The construction of Bouzli was completed on schedule in 13 months, staying within budget and having a payback period of 33 months from commissioning. Bouzli operates under the same management team as Bisa, sharing infrastructure and facilities such as camps, laboratories, and power generation. Nord Gold maintains a 90% interest in both the Bisa and Bouzli mines, with the remaining 10% owned by the government of Burkina Faso. Through the combined Bisa-Bouzli operation, Nord Gold sustains over 1,300 jobs. These mines function as modern open-pit operations, selectively mining or categorizing materials into laterite, saprolite, transition, and fresh materials. The processing plant utilizes a conventional carbon and leach circuit to produce gold on-site. Nord Gold has made substantial investments in Burkina Faso, totaling $1.3 billion since 2009, setting it apart from Western gold mining companies that often invest minimal amounts in the region. Nord Gold's commitment to Burkina Faso extends to implementing cutting-edge solutions throughout the production value chain, such as the Delco Fleet Management System, LS Fuel Management System, and Laboratory Information Management System. These investments leverage local geological expertise, benefit from a well-trained workforce, and achieve economies of scale through infrastructure sharing. Taxes and royalties paid by Nord Gold to Burkina Faso amount to approximately $60 million, making it one of the most profitable mining operations for the country. Significantly, 95% of Nord Gold's employees are nationals of Burkina Faso, underscoring the company's integration with the local workforce. The government of Burkina Faso holds a 10% stake in both mines, further solidifying the partnership between Nord Gold and the nation. However, the moment came when Captain Ibrahim Traore learned about foreign companies exploiting Burkina Faso blatantly. Startling revelations exposed a troubling scenario in Burkina Faso, where citizens grappling with poverty were said to have been deprived of an alarming $16.5 million in gold mining royalties. This substantial sum, essential for supporting crucial public services, is claimed to have been forfeited due to a special low-tax agreement made with Nord Gold during the rule of the former dictator. This staggering amount significantly eclipses the meager $1 million allocated by the country for nationwide school supplies this year. The alleged beneficiary of this favorable tax deal is Nord Gold, owned by one of Russia's wealthiest individuals, Alexei Mordashov, who has an estimated fortune of $19 billion. But this was not the only case. The surge in gold production started in 2002, coinciding with a significant upswing in gold prices. Concerns about the government's insufficient benefit from this commodity prompted an increase in royalty rates on gold in 2010 under the rule of the then government of Blaise Compaoré, a brutal dictator. Introducing a new floating royalty mechanism tied to the world gold price, rates were set to escalate based on price thresholds. Notably, Nord Gold's mine was allegedly exempt from these new royalty rates due to a contentious agreement made 15 years prior. An uncovered contract from 1995 disclosed that the previous owner, Canada's High River Gold, secured a deal fixing the royalty rate at 3% for the entire mine life during Blaise Compaoré's regime. Calculations based on Burkina Faso's Minister of Mines gold production data suggest that Nord Gold saved $16.5 million due to this low tax guarantee, known as a fiscal stability clause. Initially introduced to attract foreign companies concerned about uncertain fiscal and political environments, these deals have become controversial as they seemingly substitute any future changes to a country's legislation. Surprisingly, despite attempts by the Burkina Faso government to charge higher royalties in 2011, Nord Gold's complaint reportedly led to the confirmation of the continuity of the tax regime. Allegedly, Nord Gold's own disclosures and annual reports confirmed a consistent 3% royalty rate, resulting in a 16.5 million saving despot gold prices exceeding 1,100 per ounce. This made it clear that every foreign gold mining company working in Burkina Faso was illicitly looting Burkina Faso. Captain Ibrahim Traore had just to wait for their licenses to expire, so they requested to renew the licenses. This time has come, and now, using his ultimate absolute power, Captain Ibrahim Traore has decided not to issue new licenses until agreements are negotiated. The previous licenses of foreign companies had terms that kept taxes low, and Captain Ibrahim Traore chose to cancel it instead of renewing. The tax percentage would have stayed the same if renewed, but Captain Ibrahim Traore aimed to renegotiate the terms. Even though everyone knew that Captain Ibrahim Traore would kick out Canadian, UK-based, and French companies at some point, expelling the Russian company was a surprise. However, you should understand that Ibrahim Traore's decision to cancel the license and pursue new collaborations can be seen as a robust approach to treating every ally equally. The argument behind President Captain Ibrahim Traore's decision to suspend licenses of all foreign gold mining companies in Burkina Faso centers on the notion of restructuring agreements to optimize benefits for Burkina Faso itself, rather than exclusively favoring foreign companies. The reasoning behind this strategy is to initiate the renegotiation of new agreements that give priority to the interests and welfare of Burkina Faso, ensuring that the nation becomes the primary beneficiary of its gold resources. Through the cancellation of existing licenses, Traore intends to discard previous arrangements that may not have been advantageous for Burkina Faso in terms of economic gains and resource management. This move paves the way for the negotiation of fresh agreements that better align with the country's economic development objectives and the well-being of its citizens. It essentially represents an endeavor to level the playing field and redefine the terms of engagement with foreign companies engaged in gold mining. The ultimate objective is for Burkina Faso to establish itself as the principal beneficiary of its gold wealth. This approach signifies a departure from historical practices where foreign companies have disproportionately profited from the extraction of valuable resources. Traore's strategy aims to set a precedent where Burkina Faso assumes a central role in determining the terms of resource exploitation, ensuring that the economic benefits and revenues generated make a significant contribution to the country's growth and development. Ibrahim Traore knows that the current agreements with foreign mining companies are biaised and shrouded in secrecy. Traore argues that these contracts favor foreign corporations, leaving Burkina Faso with only a fraction of the profits generated from its own gold. By nullifying the licenses and initiating renegotiations, Burkina Faso has an opportunity to level the playing field and secure a more equitable share of the wealth. This action also champions transparency, ensuring that all aspects of the agreements are open to public scrutiny and free from corruption. You should know that Ibrahim Traore makes every decision in Burkina Faso. He knows that Burkina Faso's history has been marked by foreign entities exploiting its resources for their own gain. Traore's decision signifies a decisive step towards affirming the country's sovereignty over its natural wealth. By regaining control of its gold mining industry, Burkina Faso can ensure that its resources are utilized for the development and prosperity of its own people, rather than for the enrichment of foreign corporations. The renegotiation process presents a unique opportunity to secure a larger share of the gold profits for Burkina Faso. This increased revenue can be directed towards crucial areas such as education, healthcare, infrastructure development, and poverty alleviation. By investing in its own people and infrastructure, Burkina Faso aims to break free from the cycle of dependence on foreign aid and chart its own course towards sustainable development. But getting Burkina Faso out of the trap is not the only goal Captain Ibrahim Traore has. Traore's actions have resonated across Africa, inspiring other resource-rich nations to reevaluate their agreements with foreign mining companies. Burkina Faso's bold move is a powerful example of how African nations can regain control over their natural resources and negotiate fairer deals that benefit their populations. This shift in power dynamics could have far-reaching implications for the entire continent, paving the way for a more equitable distribution of wealth and resources. Historically, excessive reliance on foreign companies for resource exploitation has created a cycle of economic dependence for many African nations. This dependence often hinders sustainable development and limits the ability to diversify the economy. By renegotiating mining agreements, Burkina Faso aims to reduce its dependence on foreign entities, generate its own revenue, and create a more self-sufficient and resilient economy. Traore recognizes the lasting impact of colonialism and exploitation that still shapes the relationships between African nations and foreign corporations. By voiding existing licenses, Burkina Faso can start the process of rectifying historical injustices, guaranteeing its rightful share of profits from its own resources. This action underscores a commitment to building a future grounded in equity and mutual respect. Traore's vision for Burkina Faso extends beyond securing a larger share of gold profits. He aims to construct a more equitable future for all citizens, where the benefits of the nation's resources are distributed fairly, contributing to the population's overall well-being. By directing increased revenue into social programs, education, and infrastructure development, Burkina Faso can create opportunities for everyone, ensuring a brighter future for future generations. As Ibrahim Traore has delayed elections, it becomes clear that he wants to do more than just compensate for the historic exploitation. He wants to keep the resource curse at a distance, which is a paradoxical situation where countries rich in natural resources often suffer from poverty and economic stagnation due to mismanagement and exploitation. Traore's decision to renegotiate mining agreements demonstrates a commitment to avoiding this curse. Through transparency, accountability, and responsible resource management, Burkina Faso can utilize its gold wealth for sustainable development, breaking free from the shackles of the resource curse. Traore's ultimate objective is to ensure that Burkina Faso becomes the first in equals concerning its own resources. This vision challenges traditional power dynamics between resource-rich nations and foreign corporations. Traore aims to prioritize the needs and interests of Burkina Faso and its citizens, ensuring that the country benefits primarily from its natural wealth. What do you think? Did Captain Ibrahim Traore do the right thing by canceling the licenses of all foreign companies? Or should he have exempted the Russian gold mining company? Let us know your thoughts on what would happen if all African leaders did the same and kept the precious metals in their country. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.